Welcome to Mr. C's Helpful Hints for the Young Instrumentalist, Episode 3. The star of this episode is a member of the woodwind family called the flute. The flute basically consists of three different parts: the head joint, which features the embouchure hole, the long section of the flute, equipped with tone holes, called the middle section, or the body, and the short section called the foot joint. To assemble the flute, we are first going to start by joining the head joint to the top of the middle section of the instrument. Care must be taken not to put excessive pressure on any of the rods or keys during assembly. With a combined twisting and pushing motion, we line up the embouchure hole of the head joint with the tone holes on the front of the middle section. Next, we will attach the foot joint to the other end of the middle joint. Once again, with a combined twisting and pushing motion, we will line the rod of the foot joint up to the center of the closest tone hole of the middle section. The assembled flute once again should have the embouchure hole of the head joint lined up with the tone holes on the front of the middle joint, while the rod of the foot joint lines up with the center of the closest tone hole of the middle joint. Proper hand position while playing, we are first going to start with the left hand. The ball of the left hand thumb is placed on the B natural lever on the back of the flute. The remaining fingers fall into a relaxed curve with a placement pattern of skip, place, skip, place, place on the front plates. The little finger rests on the G sharp key. The right hand thumb, which helps support the flute, is placed underneath the flute in line with the D natural trill key, while the remaining fingers fall into a relaxed curve over the last three plates found on the body of the flute. The little finger has the function of depressing the E flat key found on the foot joint. The disassembly process of the flute is basically the reverse of the steps discussed earlier in this episode, but should include the drying out of the interior of each section after use. This is done with a cleaning rod and a small piece of lint-free cloth. Thread the cloth into the end of the cleaning rod. Then gently swab each section of the flute, once again making sure not to put any excessive pressure on any of the keys or rods during this process. Making this a part of your playing routine will prevent the accumulation of dirt and grime inside the instrument and maintain sanitary conditions for playing. Due to the long length of the middle joint, one end of the section will be swabbed halfway up the interior, and then again repeated for the other end. I hope this episode has been an aid to your young flute players, and you can find more information about the continuing series of Mr. C's Helpful Hints on my website at web.mac.com/mcaruth2.